13th, almost 10 o'clock in the morning. We're in Big Bend Ranch State Park. On our way to Fort Leaton, Leaton, close to Presidio.
Well, this is Texas 170 from Lajitas to Presidio. It's on the list of National Geographic Most Scenic Highways.
Yeah.
And what we've seen so far is, yeah. So, well, this road is not recommended for RVs, big rigs, because of the windy, curvy, up and down,
Yeah,
sometimes narrow road.
Well, we just had a 15% downgrade, or downhill grade.
Yeah, they don't. The road is quite humpy and dippy, but it's otherwise in good shape. But they don't level out the grades, so you can have some really steep grades up and down. So, and then the speed limit's 40. Some beautiful mountains over on the left. Maybe you'll get a
Come around the curve here and see it.
a picture of it. Fort Lathan is supposed to be an old Army cavalry fort from back at the late 1800s. It's also a trading post, so we'll see what it's like when we get there. It's not bad this morning. We had rainstorms coming through and windstorms, if that makes sense.
Late yesterday afternoon.
Late yesterday afternoon. And so right now it's only 73 degrees.
That will change quickly.
Yes.
Although it's only supposed to get up in the upper 80s, I think, today. Not as hot as it has been, of course.
Well,
we'll see.
yeah. But with the sun beating down, the UV index is quite high.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long to heat up.
That was a surprise.
And we're driving right along the Rio Grande River. You might get a glimpse of it every once in a while on the camera. It's, you know, the Rio Grande is not a river like you would think of the Colorado or the Mississippi. I mean, it's a real small river. Not much water in it, but this is kind of considered the, what, Tammy, the middle to the end of what they call their monsoon season.
Yeah.
You might be able to see the river down there now. I mean, we are skirting the border. The GPS map on the display is is right on the border. The mountains you see to our left.
Well, now it's going to be straight ahead.
And straight ahead on the left is Mexico. And like I said, there's a movie set down there. So Texas 170 is the border. I mean, it's right on the river. So what you see on this side is the U.S. What you see on our left is Mexico. pretty impressive.
Yes, it is. Oh, deer sign.
This is not the Chisos Mountains. It's another mountain range, and I can't remember the name of it, or even probably pronounce it.
Bophelicus.
Spell it.
Bofecillos.
I'll let Mom try to pronounce it.
Bofecillos. Somebody hiking out there. No, it's a sign. Fresno Ranch. That's the Park Service.
We have all our supplies with us. Lots of water.
Gatorade, some snacks.
Gatorade, some snacks. We've got our backpacks with us.
Did you grab that sunscreen?
Yes, it's in the door pocket over here. Sunscreen is
I forgot it the other day.
pretty important, as well as chapstick or some kind of lip balm. It doesn't take long to dry out and get a sunburn. So I suppose, what do you think, Tammy? Lipstick would work in a pinch.
Probably.
They recommend you drink, what was it, Tammy, a gallon of water?
32 ounces of water every hour.
32 ounces of water every hour. That's a lot of water.
Oh, that's our little Buc-ee's containers.
Well, I wouldn't call them little.
Well, they're 32 ounce.
That's a lot of water, but then again, when you're out here, you can understand why.
Yeah.
Look at this mountain.
Different layers.
The drive from Lajitas, Texas to Presidio, I saw a sign back there where it was 50 miles.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can get quite long.
Loose livestock.
This is open range country in a lot of places.
Well, we get to see any loose livestock.
Yeah, about the only wildlife we've seen is a snake.
Yeah.
Of course, that makes sense because as hot as it gets, you know, in the afternoon, the animals the wildlife takes refuge. Mom and I were sitting out on our patio with a picnic table the other night, and a roadrunner came up and just stopped right beside your mom. I mean, right by her foot.
I kept talking to him, and he looked up at me and ruffled his feathers a little on his head, turned his head, and then he walked around the picnic table looking for something to eat. Then he took off, and some other campers that were getting ready to leave, he went over to visit them.
We used to have roadrunners that, when we had our house up near Austin, we used to have roadrunners in our yard all the time. They're funny birds.
They nested in the tree at the front a couple of years.
And a lot of times when I was mowing the yard, the roadrunners would follow behind me and eat the bugs that I stirred up with the lawnmower.
They're funny.
But we've never had one get that close to us.
No. It's the first time I've had one get that close.
Of course, they make a funny little noise. I better shut up and watch where I'm driving, huh?
Please.
We've come across a couple places where there were rocks in the road.
Yeah. Small ones.
Small ones.
Still. One of those downhill. Ooh. Must be a picnic area over there. Some little everything's still green right now. In another couple of months, it'll probably be pretty brown.
Well, you're going to see a lot more greenery around the river.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it floods, but
there are flood signs every so often. So.
Well, when you get these big rainstorms that come through on the mountains, all the water runs down, and then the dry arroyos, how you pronounce that word? The dry creek beds, they flash flood in a hurry. And of course, they drain rapidly, but flash flooding during these rainstorms is a problem.
Presidio, 40 miles.
Bring an RV down through here just because of how bumpy, humpy and dippy it is. And give your suspension a workout. We got a rock up there.
Those are almost like the hoodoos we saw in Bryce Canyon. They say they've got some hoodoos down here.
Size of that mountain.
Really?
And of course, the road just switches back and forth around these mountains. I mean, it's not like they carved a road right through the mountains. I mean, it switches back and forth and uses kind of the natural terrain of the mountains where they put the road. Yeah, that's kind of narrow.
Oh, some teepees up here.
Yep, there's some teepees on the left.
Along with a sign, the road may flood. That's not a good place for those teepees to be.
I'm not sure I'd want to stay in a teepee in this kind of heat. But you see how they're open underneath at the bottoms for air circulation?
They're just picnic areas.
Yeah.
That's nice that they are shaded.
Man, look at this canyon we're going to go through.
Slides.
This is an incredible canyon.
Wow. There's a rock. Oh my goodness. Going up into the sky.
Yeah, pretty steep. Big rock sticking out there. I wouldn't want to bring my camper through here. You'd take out the whole side of it. My God, this is steep.
Yes, it is. And we're still climbing. Mercy. slow gear.
Whoa,
Yeah.
look at that. Look at that valley down there.
Oh my goodness.
That's neat.
Speed limit 40. I don't think I can go 40.
Oh wow, look at that valley down there. That's just
Gosh.
that's great.
It is. You can see what it's National Geographic's one of the 10 most scenic drives.
You gotta look at the river down there in the valley.
Up there where you can see like white in the mountain coming down, they say that's waterfalls whenever it rains a lot. That's where
I wouldn't doubt it.
be. Any of the white areas.
The flash floods, the storms, the flash storms through here. And sometimes the rain cloud can just sit on top of the mountain and rain. Man, that mountain goes.
Yeah.
Whoa. It's the little things that impress us, huh?
That's right. Doesn't take much. Drive safely. Roadwork ahead. Cuesta River access.
La Cuesta. Yeah, you can see on the left, on the top of that mountain, where there's a waterfall.
Just coming out of range on the camera. Oh, we just left. We had lunch in Presidio, Texas, right on the border. I mean, there's a border crossing. We're heading back up towards the campground. There's the fort up ahead that we went to, Fort
Layton.
Layton. That was, it was really interesting. It was formed in, what to say, 1683.
Yeah.
It's nice that they've kind of preserved it.
It was a trading post.
Yeah.
And the army, the cavalry used to patrol this area, would stop off there. It was just a big trading post for all the people in this area. Really interesting. One of the most well-preserved adobe forts in the area.
Done an excellent job with it. Especially considering it was built in 1683.
Well, yeah.
Those mountains are pretty.
We're back inside the Big Bend Ranch State Park. Like Mom said a while ago, we drove right by a border crossing into Mexico. So that tells you how close we are.
Yeah.
But we're back on this 170 road again. Headed back up into the mountains.
Back to the campground.
Headed back towards Lajitas in the campground. It's about 50 miles, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a really nice drive.
Yes, it is. Very beautiful.
I'm going to stop by the place where there's a trail. It's a closed canyon trail. I'm going to stop by there and see what it's like. We're not going to hike it today because it's here in the middle of the afternoon and it's pretty hot.
85.
So we might come by early tomorrow or when we get a chance.
Not going to be either tomorrow or Monday because we're leaving Tuesday.
If we don't make it, we don't make it.
It's been fun. There's some horses.
What you see is a lot of farming in the Rio Grande floodplain. And depending upon the river itself, you can imagine clearing all of this mesquite and cactus, clearing all that out, making farmland out of this. It just
incredible amount of work.
Oh, incredible amount of work, and it defies imagination. I mean, why would you have a farm in the desert?
Yeah.
And some we've read on information panels. Some started out making ranching and farming, and then they had successive droughts, and it just drove them out. They couldn't do it anymore. Of course, there's not a lot of modern accessibility to things like there was back in the day. But a lot of these little towns, I mean, there's not much in Presidio either.
No. There's more than there is in Studi Butte.
Oh yeah, it's by far a bigger center. I mean, it actually has 3,000 people. You know.
$2 Generals, a Family Dollar, and another Dollar Tree, I think. But we didn't see a grocery store.
But you talk about Terlingua and Studi Butte. I mean, we're talking maybe 500 people, if that. Incredible, hard-working people out here. They have to be.
Yes.
And a lot of the, well, even in Presidio, a lot of the streets are just dirt, gravel streets. It's a border town. But our lunch was excellent.
Yeah, we stopped at
The porch.
El Patio.
El Patio, yeah.
They had what, 1, 2, 3, 4 tables inside and 3 or 4 picnic tables outside. It was very good.
What you find, these little cafes and places, you can really get some good food.
Yeah.
It's hard on these little towns with the economy the way that it is,
Yeah.
and with the, you know, COVID just being over. We noticed a lot of abandoned buildings.
Yeah.
Businesses went out of business. It had to be hard on these little towns.
There's some mountains coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, I see those. That's pretty.
The scenery is just beautiful out here. The mountains and
Even though it's a little hazy, I think the air is probably still cleaner out here because there's not all kinds of factories.
you get a good shot right now of the floodplain from the Rio Grande River. We thought we'd show you more of the mountains.
That one have round looks on top and on the right.
Whoa, dip.
Whoop, dip.
Well, they're all around famous line in the movie Big Jake, where the ranch foreman is talking to Maureen O'Hara's character, and he says, "We're just close enough to that border to spit."
On the road, you can really see how wavy and dippy it is. If it was all black, you wouldn't be able to see that.
When you think of Texas, a lot of times you don't think of mountains.
I know.
But they have some spectacular mountains down here around Big Bend.
Some more trees.
And it's, of course, it's named after the Big Bend in the Texas border, where it makes a big bend down south. Yep.
Isn't that pretty?
That view is just great. We're standing up here watching kayakers go down the Rio Grande River. You can see them going around the bend down there. I got a glare on my phone, so I'm trying to focus in on them. Whoops, sorry. You can see the road we've been coming up. We pulled off to this to the side here, and you can see off in the distance and you can see the mountains that are around us. That's a mesquite tree. But look back here. Oh, this is great. You can see the kayakers down there. That would be a lot of fun. We know some kayakers, don't we, Mom? They'd have a ball down there. You can see the one end individual down there. It's not very deep. I mean, one guy had to get out of his boat or get out of his kayak and move it across the rocks. So it isn't very deep. The water, that is. But that'd be a lot of fun. I'm at a different vantage point now, but you can see the Rio Grande down there and the kayakers still getting across the shallows. But the river continues on up around that area. You can't see it anymore, but you can see it down there. And they're kayaking through these sheer cliffs and sheer rocks. That would be a lot of fun. But the scenery here is just spectacular. And this is the Big Bend State Park. And you can see that we're up here really high. You can see the mountains up there. Oh, it's just beautiful up here. You can see how the river over the centuries has just carved a big gorge down through the mountains. Of course, you got this big mountain right here.
We're still going up.
Yeah, we stopped at a pull off to watch some kayakers go down the Rio Grande River. And we're climbing up the mountain.
Going up into the clouds.
Grade down. Oh, yes. There you can see the river. Orlando movie set. Look at that gap in the mountains up there. Can you imagine if this area had more water? The waterfalls that would be around here.
Oh, wow. Something else.
Hang on. Look at that view.
Something else. There's the water again.
Yep, there's the river again. Here we go. There's a few ranches that are actually on the state park land. I imagine it's been handed down. Over a period of years, and they both cooperate together with the ranchers and the State Park Service. And they're obviously right along the river, so they have access to water. What's amazing, on the right side where the river is, you see all this greenery. On the left side, you can see how it rapidly turns into desert away from the river.
Lots of big cracks in a lot of those rocks.
Yeah, it looks like that could fall about any time, doesn't it? Driving along here and you expect to see the cavalry come riding over the hill.
Or a cow.
Or a cow. Well, wildlife, we saw a few road runners today.
Yeah. And a bunny rabbit.
And a bunny rabbit.
Baby bunny.
The road runners are so funny. They chasing bugs and we've had a few of them run across the road in front of us. But this is back where we were in the canyon. There was more wildlife. There's black bear and mountain lion and javelina. But as the road keeps going and you get more off into the desert area, then there's less wildlife. back to Lajitas. So we'll close out this video. We're heading back to the camper and take a nap. I hope you enjoyed this drive along the Texas Mountain Trail, Texas Road 170. Lots of people down there.
Yeah, they're getting in the water. Something going on.
That's something to do with the resort.
You done?
Yeah. Goodbye.